embarked on a big investment program over the last number of years. And that investment program has been multi-tiered. But two of the big investments that we've made were into the Afro-Euro fleet of locomotives, as well as into the extensive fleet refurbishment program. We took a decision about 5 years ago not to repaint, polish up and release our locomotives back into service, but to do a comprehensive rebuild program across all of the locomotives, so that any locomotive that we released, we knew that would come with the sort of TRAXTION brand of quality that's been built over decades. We finished the second phase of our rebuild program and we've deployed those locomotives. We deployed the Afro fleet into service, redeployed that wonderful GE C30 EMP fleet into service. As we stand today, we don't have a single locomotive that's available for deployment. We do have some more locomotives in the final phase of our rebuild program, that about another 15 locomotives that ultimately will become available for deployment. But as we stand today, we don't have a single locomotive available for deployment, which means that last year was a sort of herculean effort by the commercial and technical and operations teams to get all of those locomotives deployed. We went into new jurisdictions, into Senegal, into Namibia. We went into a number of new customers. And every time you mobilize, we mobilized about 8 new sites last year. Every time you mobilize, it comes with a huge process of mobilization, from your manuals and your document control into your parts, your people, the regulatory regimes associated with new jurisdictions from customs and tax. And it was a huge effort last year to get all of that done. And a lot of that doesn't sort of operate like clockwork. You know, the delays, the regional delays in mobilizing assets is a big source of frustration of all of our locomotives. The last locomotive is going into service, which means that all of that mobilization and all of that preparation has been delivered across the fleet. So from that perspective, it was an incredible year. I do think that the market at the moment is good. I haven't seen the market for locomotives and wagons and rail services as buoyant as I have at the moment. I think that's due to a few factors. I think structural reform in the region is certainly having an impact on the demand for private assets in the sector. I think that commodity prices, having run for a period of time, is driving demand for assets out of the private sector. So I think that the market's very good at the moment, which is obviously also very positive. At the same time, last year, we had some challenges. The problems with the Chambishi Bridge through our Calabash service was really disappointing, for that line to go down. It's now in the process of rehabilitation. That's a pity. We had to restructure that. We're going with the Kasama intermodal service. Volumes obviously are significantly down. So that was a pity. Thankfully, there's a process of remediation, and that certainly is going to come to an end at some stage in the next couple of months. And that bridge will be up and running and we can resume the service as it was initially designed. But I think also it does sort of point to the importance of that continued investment into infrastructure.